take questions.
Well, first of all, appreciate everybody coming out today. It's obviously a great day in Lawrence, Kansas, the University of Kansas. So excited to finally be able to articulate KU's vision around this project, this development over my shoulder there at 11 Mississippi with David Booth Kansas Memorial Stadium at the very forefront, truly changing the landscape of what fan experience will mean around college football. Here to my right, the Anderson Family Football Complex, a chance to make sure we're providing our football program with as tremendous a day-to-day development experience as any place in the country. Such an important part of it, something that's incredibly important to Coach Leipold and his staff. And so just to be able to come out and make that statement around our university's commitment to football at Kansas means an awful lot. You know, it takes an entire community, and that's what I would emphasize to the group. This is a university-wide institutional commitment. This is not just an athletics project. It truly has a chance in terms of multi-use, in terms of economic impact, to drive change for Lawrence, and we think for the region and the state as well. We're excited to share more detail on that as things progress in the days ahead. And then, you know, finally, I would just kind of close by saying that there's no more important time than now for KU to make this kind of statement, to make this kind of commitment. Football is at the driving force, frankly, of not just intercollegiate athletics, but in so many ways the health and the vibrancy of higher education, and in our case here at the University of Kansas, has a lot to say about, you know, momentum as we think about applications and enrollment, the financial health of the university, and of course continuing to build upon the brand of what it means to be a Jayhawk. So real exciting day in Lawrence, and happy to take questions from anybody today.
Travis, do you feel like $350 million is a fair estimate of what this can end up costing?
What number did you say?
$350 million.
That's what we have. I believe that's in the Board of Regents approved kind of rolling annual budget. To be determined is really the short answer to it. It's going to be of incredibly significant magnitude. This was not us saying, hey, we need to do some modifications. This was not us saying we need to enhance or tweak or do some renos. This is us saying we have a chance and are fully committed to developing one of the most unique settings and one of the most unique stadiums in the country, and at the same time making sure we invest in the football student athletes that will base right here on this location.
This is centered around the football stadium, around the growth and the excitement around this program, but this is a development for this whole city.
Right.
Can you talk about the importance to Lawrence that this will have?
Yeah, no question. We really believe when this is successful, it will be because it will have had a Lawrence partnership, neighborhood partnership, business-based value add, right? When we think about multi-use, we think about economic impact, and we think that transcends beyond just Lawrence and Douglas County and has a chance to really drive some economic impact for the state as well. And so that really is the magnitude of the vision that's led by the chancellor, that takes all the right partners right here in the city of Lawrence, in the state certainly, in the legislature, and we are excited and confident about the trajectory we have there.
Can you give us an idea of the footprint of this development as well as the types of facilities or businesses that might go in there?
Yeah, well, we think about this idea of gateway, this northern gateway, you know, whether you're starting your journey off of 6th or off of 9th, but entering campus from the north as you come down Mississippi, and that's where that intersection of 11th and Mississippi is important. We also have, obviously, just up the hill here, the new Alumni Welcome Center, the Student Union parking, and the parking deck that brings you up to Jayhawk Boulevard. So we've felt like this is the ideal kind of entryway to welcome people into their KU experience, whether it be prospective students, prospective student athletes, alumni, and visitors making their way to Lawrence and making their way to KU. So really we're looking at the entirety of this location at 11th and Mississippi, where the stadium resides, and then even as we venture to the east and certainly the northeast.
Travis, could you give, is the timing important to give Coach Leipold a signal about your commitment, the university's commitment to the football program in general and the facilities, which he has mentioned a couple of times already?
Well, I think the timing is a product of the work that's been done over many months And we got very fortunate for it to align, quite frankly, with this awesome week here at Lawrence and at KU with game day. And then, hey, we were doing this with or without a 5-0 football team, right? And so you take that combination, you feel great about it. But I think, this commitment, this investment, these discussions started before my time, but I can tell you from my experience, every day since I've been here, every day since we've hired Coach Leipold and the staff, we've talked about what the needs are. We've talked about making sure we don't just try and meet what others are doing, but we try and have a different level of vision, even a different level of commitment around football. So over the course of this past 17, 18 months, it's been a daily kind of journey, and it just brought us to this incredible moment here this week.
You talk about what this will mean for competing with other universities. I mean, to continue the success that KU is seeing this year, you have to be able to compete to get the top recruits and things of that nature. How will this project, this development, equal the playing field?
Yeah, well, KU's proven for generations in multiple sports that you can achieve anything here at Lawrence and in Lawrence and at KU. Our men's basketball team gave us one heck of a reminder back in April in New Orleans. That group of men came together to cut down the nets. We've had the combination of basketball tradition at the very top with really good competitive football before. So this to us is something we've all known and believed, and we've had this great demonstration from this team and from this coaching staff. And what better way to bring it all together than with a tangible statement around what we all know Kansas football can both sustain and continue to grow in the years ahead.
Travis, when do you think it'll start renovating, and how many seasons will it involve construction?
Yeah, we hired an architect yesterday. They've already had meetings, if you can believe it. They've literally already had meetings. They'll be over here next week, really living, breathing, sleeping in Anderson Family Football Complex, talking with Coach Leipold, our football program, about what the needs are, what the opportunities are with this building. We'll start on a journey for design and planning to have construction underway first half of 23 right here, and then simultaneously really making headway through the design process for the site, for the stadium, and site work, site preparation occurring the early parts of 23, and then at some juncture here in the weeks ahead, we'll be able to say more about the specifics of additional construction. But 23 was always about not saying we'd get something started in December of 23. It was about action in the early part of the year and continuing forward until this vision is fulfilled.
You mentioned talk about multi-use venue. What we talked about there, like concerts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think entertainment can absolutely be part of it. You think about this location, the campus, and with the hill. You talk about Conference Center, the university, and Lawrence have both studied the viability of having a conference environment in Lawrence and based out of KU. That's certainly something that's exciting. I think there's some medical opportunities when you think about potentially clinics, ortho, etc. So we're engaged in conversations with our Kansas Team Health, Lawrence Memorial Hospital, KU Med, and those partners on that end. And then, frankly speaking, we're going to get an economic development report back in the next couple of weeks that will tell us a lot more about that in terms of what the literal return on that investment might be, and we're excited for what we think will be a great appetite from developers to also come over and potentially partner on this.
You mentioned a second ago, but how much input will Lance and his coaching staff have on the
as much as he has time for, right? I mean, we've said to him, really, in so many ways, being a co-architect on Anderson Family Football Complex, to have a profound hand in where we go with this stadium. He has a great interest in it. I get texts and tweets and things sent to me probably 3 or 4 times a day on things he's observed at other programs around the country. He's always learning and experiencing it when he's on the road with our program. So he'll be hands-on, and I know he's excited about that as well.
Is it a big picture, like a teardown project, a remodel project? I guess what's kind of the vision for it right now?
I think any of those things are in play. And you know what I can say is there's a lot of history here. There's a lot of messages that matter. When you think about the memorial aspect of it, you think about 100 years of tradition and history. But at the end of the day, we won't cut any corners on what it's going to take to have an incredible fan experience and stadium environment here. So without saying exactly complete demo, phases, etc., profound is what the outcome will be, and more information certainly will be to come on that.
Who's at the top of Kansas fans' minds is keeping Coach Leipold here? What is the university doing to ensure with this development that he stays here?
Well, I think, you know, if there's a relationship there, great, but to me it's about all the things day in and day out, the things that always occur more behind the scenes that we're demonstrating in partnership with Lance and this staff, that this is being built to be sustained. This is not about a blip on the radar, about one incredible week in early October in Lawrence. This is about doing something that we will continue and build upon in the years ahead. And I think those are the things that are occurring day in and day out, not cutting corners, making sure we all embrace and understand what it means to be committed to football. And I know Lance and the staff feel that, and we won't sit idle and we won't get comfortable. We'll keep pushing hard going forward.
Two more questions, please.
Could you discuss the momentum you've built, the department has built since a couple of years ago when it was really the toughest financial time possible? No team had sailed anywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody was just forced to really buckle down. Now you're in this kind of place where you're talking about a big project, a multi-phase project.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes happened in the last couple of years.
It's a place with an incredible foundation, so many amazing people, a university that's committed to athletics, and I think we just needed some things to kind of come together. You got to give credit to a basketball program that again brought us that championship, that really I think had a big hand in building our momentum forward. And then of course with what Lance and the staff were doing a year ago, when most people didn't realize the work that was being put in, the identity, the culture that was occurring. They obviously have been a huge part of propelling this thing forward. So a great foundation, incredible brand, strong institution. I think the right leadership in place, and then some of the momentum indicators have put us on a pretty special moment for KU.
We've heard a little bit about possible basketball stuff too. What's going on there? Like, what would you improve, and is that going to be announced sometime?
That will be announced, and hopefully sooner rather than later, and pretty reasonable as we look out the next couple of months. Really excited about what the Allen Fieldhouse opportunity provides us. You know, similarly, you talk about building football for sustained success. We think and talk every day about not just maintaining the excellence of basketball, but how do we create catalysts to even heighten that for men's basketball at KU. And that project is a great tangible indicator of what that will take. Retaining character, history, tradition that only Allen Fieldhouse provides, but enhancing the experience of fans, enhancing the student athlete experience as well. We think there's a way to achieve both.
One more question. Can you please just talk about this, the excitement around this college football game day being here, the biggest college football show, the university being on showcase in front of 3 million people for 3 hours?
Yeah, pretty good 3-hour promotion and advertisement for KU. I'd say this, our fan base deserves it, loyal, staying by this football program. Obviously we've showed up now what will be 3 weeks of a sellout, jammed full of Jayhawks across the country and the world, living this thing, a university community that deserves it, that's supporting us in a profound way. Lawrence and the community, same story. You think about the benefit and the activity that's occurring in the city, and feeling and understand that. And then I just think, again, it's a chance for us to alert the nation that this is here to stay, and this is a place that can be really one of the most special in the country when you think about excellence with men's basketball, with football, and then broad-based across our department. So I'm really excited about that.